Pauline Swift for Our World Media Magazine. I'm speaking today with a very lovely lady called Victoria Schneps Yunis. And I heard about you 3 years ago. Even though I've been living in Queens for 30 years, I've read mostly all of your papers and magazines, but I never met you. I just heard about you. So I said to a friend of mine one day, I just have to meet you and I have to interview you because I think you're an awesome lady.
Thank you.
Yes. Could you please tell me how many years you've been in business?
I started my business in my living room with 4 children, a dream of being in the news media to be able to make change, and a $250 investment.
So, are you a native of Queens?
I was born in Brooklyn,
Okay.
raised in Brooklyn, and when I got married about a year or two later, I moved to Bayside, Queens.
And at that point, you sort of knew that you wanted to enter the field of journalism?
No, my master's degree is actually in teaching. And my journey really began with my daughter, Lara. Lara was born in 1968 and turned blue in the nursery. She suffered irreparable brain damage. So when Lara started about 3-month checkup, the doctors noticed her fluttering of her eyes. And I kept telling them about it, but they just called me a nervous mother.
Okay.
And it turned out that those fluttering of the eyes were seizures. So from his office, we went to the hospital. And the journey began to try to find help for Lara. And in 1968, when Lara was born, there were no programs in the community for people potentially who were brain damaged. And Lara, by the time she was about 2 years old, the doctor said she will always be 3 months old developmentally. So we began a journey to be able to find help for Lara. And Lara was, at that time, in need. We hoped maybe there was help of physical therapy and occupational therapy. And there was nothing in the community for children like Lara. But I heard about a place on the grounds of a place called Willowbrook on Staten Island. And with great trepidation, we brought Lara to Willowbrook, to the infant rehabilitation center that had just been built. And with her being there, I lived in Bayside, and my lovely lady said, "Vicky, there but for the grace of God go I. How can I help you? How can we help Lara?" And so we started the Women's Organization for Retarded Children, WORC, in my living room and with my neighbors. And we started volunteers by the busloads going every weekend to Willowbrook on Staten Island and doing fundraising events to buy things for the people living at Willowbrook. And within about a year's time of Lara being there, Governor Rockefeller slashed the budget. And if you turn over, you're going to see a picture of me marching and picketing.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's me with the long blonde hair at Willowbrook. And we're protesting the budget cuts out Willowbrook. And I always said we were like knocking on air until a cub reporter by the name of Geraldo Rivera came and told the story. And he got in behind the locked wards that no parent had ever gone and saw the people. There's another picture that was taken of a child at Willowbrook. You see that black and white photo?
Yes.
That's a child sitting at a ward on a floor, barely clothed. And that's what Geraldo's cameras were able to bring those pictures into people's homes. And my husband was a lawyer at the time. He filed with the Parents Association a federal class action lawsuit. That lawsuit changed forever the way people who were developmentally disabled are served. And that lawsuit began the opening of group homes in the community. And anyone came from Willowbrook had to be in a group home with a day program.
Right.
And so little by little, Willowbrook was closed. Willowbrook is now the College of Staten Island. And the group homes that exist all over our city are because of the Willowbrook Consent Decree that fostered the opening of the homes. They had to fund the homes because of the lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the power of the press, because without Geraldo's coverage embarrassing many of the parents into filing this federal class action lawsuit, none of this would have happened.
I know now it's called OMRDDs. It's under the
Oh,
state.
it's under the state. I just have OMRDD.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of problems right now with how they are viewing the services that people with developmental disabled should have. So we've got a problem with the governor about what, in fact, we should be doing in terms of providing services. Okay. So the battle continues. But I saw the power of the press.
Okay.
And I said, why, someday I'd like to be in the news business.
Okay, so that's
and that is my journey to starting in my living room
mm-hmm.
with my children around me, doing it in my spare time, but having a partner who was a newsman.
Okay. Now, how did you balance motherhood and the career?
Well, I think it's very basic that you're small when your children are small in business, and then you grow bigger and bigger and bigger as your children go bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what I did. I did not try to conquer the world. I took a position with this being my own business to give me the flexibility to be able to go to their ball games, to be able to go to their class, be class mother, to be able to do what I needed to do for my children because I wasn't punching a clock someplace. Okay. That would not have worked.
I see. Also, what haven't you done that you would like to do in the future? Because I can see from this lovely wall back here, you have met mostly everybody that there is to meet. What haven't you done that you would like to do?
You know, I never think about that because I live each day. And I find that each day opportunities will come to me that I never anticipated. And I meet people that I never thought I would meet. And things happen that I might say are beyond my control. And so you take the opportunity that comes at the time. I think I've learned that man plans and God acts. Mm-hmm. So I do not look to see, I've got to do this. I really live in the present. Because I think the present is a present.
What advice would you give to the young people that are getting into the field of journalism and the media? What do
I don't think that being in journalism or media is any different than anything you do in life. Because to me, it's very basic. 1, you've got to show up. 2, you've got to work hard. Nothing good comes from not working hard. So I think that there's basic rules of how to be successful in those 2 items.
Well, you are very successful. I mean, it's to your wildest dreams. Did you think when you started that everything was going to evolve like this? With all the
as I remember I said to you, I never think into the future. I think into the present. Okay. And every day there are challenges. Whether it be from your business, your children, your family. So life is filled with challenges. And I like to consider my life like a surfer on a surfboard, tackling the waves of the ocean. The waves have carried me, and then they throw me off. And then I get up, and I tackle the next wave until it throws me off. And then I get up, and I tackle the next wave. Because life is too unexpected. You've got to go with the flow of what's happening today.
Do you think women of today feel that way? They should just go with the flow, or?
Look, I can't see what other women have in their minds, but I do know that it is a world still where many people ask me, "Oh, did your husband start your business with you?" People can't imagine that a woman can do this on her own. And I didn't do it on my own. You know, I did get support from my family, from my, maybe my ex-husband now. But, I think that there's an old cliche from a song, you get along with a little help from your friends. And I would extend that to family. I think that women are still finding there's a glass ceiling. And I think that's why many women go into their own business, so they can be masters of their own destiny.
It's true. It's very true. Besides your daughter being disabled, and that was a great challenge for you, what has been your other greatest challenges? Can you name some of them?
Well, I got divorced. My fiance died a week before my wedding, and then I got remarried, and, he just died. I think, handling the challenges that come up in life, it's called life, and just keep on going. I think my life work has been my children and my work and my community, and that has sustained me. And I will give you a little clue. A friend of mine talked about, I called her at her office one day, and I said, "How are you doing?" I know she had had brain surgery 2 months before, and she was back to work. She was an executive at a big company. And she says, "Oh, Vicki, I just finished my pity party." I said, "Pity party? What is a pity party?" She says, "Every day at 3 o'clock, I shut my office door, and I say, 'Why did this happen to me?' And I yell, and I scream, and I cry. And then at 3:15, I check my watch, I go to my drawer, I fix my eye makeup, I put my lipstick back on, and I get on with my work." So I think pity parties are very important in life because you have to cry. You have to scream, "Why did this happen to me?" Because something happens to everybody. It's how you handle it that is the quality of your life. And she taught me that with a pity party, that it's okay to feel sorry for yourself, but get over it, girl, and keep on going.
That's beautiful. So that would be the advice that you would give.
I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Yunis, for your time. I enjoyed talking with you, and hopefully the audience were listening and enjoyed it themselves. Thank you. Pauline Swift for Our World Media Magazine.
Victoria Schneps, Yunis.
Schneps Yunis. Oh, Schneps Yunis. I'm sorry.
Schneps Yunis.
And how can people get a hold of you if they want to?
V Schneps, SCH, N as in Nelly, E, P as in Peter, S, V Schneps at QNS.com, Queens.com.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.